All right. Welcome to episode 178 of the KBMOD podcast as we get closer and closer to 200. The 200 All-Star Bash episode. We'll try to get a hold of Alex for that one. We'll see if we can get him on here. The date, before I forget, is February 22nd, 2015. I'm sure someone in the chat will call me, but, you know. We have two guests this week. We have Linz, who's been on with us before.
Oh, girls.
This is my third time.
Yeah.
Girls.
Third time's a charm.
And we have the lovely Rowtendo with us for the first time on the podcast. Hello.
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 What's up?
You never call me lovely, Dan.
I don't call you lovely, that's true. Not much this time.
Pretty fucked up.
That's pretty fucked up.
Come on, man.
I love
Maybe
your
you should try harder to
forearms.
be more lovely.
Your forearms
I'm not
are
gonna
quite
do that.
lovely.
Well, thank you. Why, I don't know what you could mean, Daniel.
Oh, God.
Oh, what are you doing?
You're so veiny.
It's good to know that you switch up your jerking at hand, so it's even. Like, that's great. Way to go, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Very
Everybody
symmetrical.
can take a
You
page
gotta
from
switch
Will's
off.
book.
You can't just give the one side love. It's not okay.
You don't want to be that one dude with like a super beefy right hand, and
Yeah. Like in that Skittles commercial, yeah.
yeah, you don't want to be that guy. Don't
Or
be
like
that
the
guy.
dude with tiny hands in the Burger King commercial. The poor guy.
Or the dude with the one tiny hand in Scary Movie.
Why do we have so many examples of this?
A
So,
lot of
Ro,
different
you-
hand sizes in the world.
So, Ro, you are a streamer, but you do a lot of graphic work, right? Is that how you basically got into this whole thing, Twitch, and
Yep, pretty much. Just graphic design stuff.
so you weren't a Call of Duty commentator?
No,
Oh,
I was not a Call of Duty commentator.
You weren't on Camp Hutch. No, none of you are on Camp Hutch except me.
Yeah.
Interesting how that works.
I was on Engineering Win. It was right after Camp Hutch. Hey, I will say that. It sucked. It was terrible.
Ooh.
Wow, shots
I meant my
fired.
gameplay.
Oh.
Oh,
Good save.
Well, that's why you were on
Good
Engineering
save.
Win. You were there to improve.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rode
So-
actually did all of the panels below the
Yes.
wonderful Twitch chat, or the wonderful Twitch video that you're watching right now, and they're beautiful and great.
yep.
Thank
And
you
she
very
did
much.
the Extra Life logo that we used just yesterday, and
Yep.
did some graphics for that we will use again this year, because we were in such a technical shambles last year at the beginning that we didn't get to properly use anything she sent us, but we got to use
Actually, I really love Rotendo's version of the KBMOD or the keyboard with wings and the Halo, because that is like a really weird amalgamation of three different people working on it. It's like the keyboard is originally something that community member Scooty did for us, and then I took it and ripped the wings off of the controller for the Extra Life logo and put the Halo on it, and then we gave it to Ro, and she made it amazing. Like, it's the best. I love it so much.
So she's done some work for us. She did this podcast that you're watching currently, the overlay. Which
And
we
if
were
you're
using
listening
the
on
same one.
iTunes, why aren't you watching it live?
Yeah. Why are you listening?
These
to
poor iTunes listeners, man.
I
They
know.
get shit on like every week.
it?
I appreciate you, iTunes
Here's all these
listeners.
graphics that you cannot see.
All these wonderful graphics that you're missing out on with your blindness.
If you want to have a good time though, and you have iTunes, I don't even have it, but if you have iTunes, go check out the reviews of the podcast. It will brighten your day. At least
And
for a
also,
little bit.
just leave one, but also leave it as any variant of C Hodes.
Yes,
Yeah.
any variant at all of C Hodes, Catherine Hodes, Charles Hodes, any
Cassandra Hodes.
Cassandra Hodes, at C
Charles
Hodes, at C
Charles
Hodes,
Hodes is our
father of
first
five.
fan.
Is he still out there? Let me check his Twitter.
Probably.
Charles Hodes, #1 fan of the KBMOD podcast.
Twitter.com/chodes. Let's take a look here. Yep, he's still here. No tweets. 200 followers thanks to APL.
Because he has the username Chodes on Twitter.
The most
Married,
underutilized Twitter ever.
married father of 5 from Kansas City. He joined in 2009.
And also the first fan of the KBMOD podcast on
Yes.
iTunes.
Shout outs. He's an egg now too. He used to have a picture of himself, but
Well, I feel like this is some guy who like made his account, went his entire life without ever hearing the word chode, and then made his Twitter account, and then immediately got, oh, dude, chodes, and he was like, what is this? Why is everyone saying hodes so much? Why is this so funny? And then just Googled it and was like, oh, god damn it, and then just like angrily left.
What if his real name is actually Chodes though? Like, what if his last name is Hodes?
Yes,
It's not that
His first name is
unreal.
C?
Like, that realization drove
could be
him
Charles.
off the internet. That's why
it
he's
is
never
Charles.
tweeted.
It is
I hope
literally
it's Charles,
Oh
yeah.
no, it's Chris. It's Chris Hodes.
Chris Hodes, yeah.
Chris
So Chris
Hodes
Hodes.
from Kansas City, Missouri,
Please, Chris Hodes. Love our podcast.
and he has really potent sperm because he has 5 kids, so he knows what he's doing.
Well, again, great reason to be a fan of this podcast because Bob is ridiculously potent. So
Bob
it's
also
excellent.
potent.
Yeah, he probably relates to Bob.
That's why he started tuning in.
Yeah, #1 fan.
Needle's Edge, 2 months in a row. Thank you for being a subscriber, sir. But as we always start out here, we start out to see if anyone did anything interesting this week that wasn't in video games. Anybody go to a flea market? That seems to be the particular.
No, I
The only
moved
interesting thing
furniture.
people do
You
anymore
moved
is
more
that
furniture?
Yeah, got the last of the shit out of my old house, so we're good to go now.
Nice.
cool.
Nice.
Um,
Trying to think.
Alonzo and I went to the batting cages.
Oh yeah, we did that yesterday. We went to the batting cages. My arms are a little sore.
Yeah, mine too. Got a little like
what,
right here.
what speed? What speed?
I did softball because I played softball for like 8 years. But the guys were not having any of it. They're like, we don't want to hit a softball. Even though they missed most of the baseballs. Just saying.
Oh.
Just
I-
saying. They didn't want to
I'd
hit the
probably-
softballs because it wasn't manly. They wanted to hit the baseballs.
Yeah, I would rather
Yeah.
fail at a manly task than succeed at a womanly one because the patriarchy.
Wow, dude.
All right. Wow.
The
All right.
patriarchy.
Black letter
I
fan.
am,
I'm
Just-
I
blocking
am
blah.
the anti-Tumblr.
Block this person. Okay, no.
Well, you just
okay,
lost 3,000
listen, there are
followers.
men who play sports, like recreational sports as an adult. They play softball. Like,
Yeah, no,
It's
no.
not like
That's because they
guys
can
are
get
baseball.
hammered
No,
and
I'm
still
giving you
play
a hard time.
softball.
That's
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Like,
You
there's
wanna
nothing
play
wrong
softball
with
each
like
other.
hitting some softballs.
No, there's nothing wrong with hitting softballs. For me,
And I
For
hit
me,
like
I think-
every
I
one
think-
of them. So
I think
Right.
I think my hesitation was that I took my first round in the batting cages with the baseballs and hit probably about 2% of the ones that were thrown at me. And after that, I didn't want I felt that was a challenge from the baseball throwing machine. I
Sure.
didn't want to
So you
to
upped the
dial
speed?
back the difficulty or lower the speed or make the balls bigger, both of which the softballs do, because I wanted to rise to the challenge put forth to me by the batting cage machine. I then lost
right.
the challenge, but I tried.
You try.
I continued to
fine.
hit maybe 5% of the balls.
So the gauntlet was thrown down, and you were like, "No, fuck you, batting cage.
Yeah.
Make it harder."
And I lost, but I lost with my pride.
right.
Okay.
Okay.
You're,
anyways, I hit softballs and I hit like every single one of them because I play softball.
Yeah,
And then-
she hit them all. Like pretty much 0% were whiffed. I, on the other hand, you probably don't know this about it. Like, you probably look at me and think, like, that guy's really good at, like, sex and sports.
That's exactly what I think every time that I look.
I'm actually not an athlete. Like, I'm remarkably bad at sports.
You're not. In
I looked at
some
Blah and I
manner
was like,
a
he could
professional
probably hit a
athlete.
softball.
I could hit a softball.
You want to try?
I probably can hit a softball.
So, well, yeah, we went to the batting cages yesterday with Tyler and my roommate, and then today I went and saw Kingsman.
Oh, yeah,
that
how's
was
that?
Kingsman. I think it looks real fun.
Pretty good. I was like, they invited me, and I was like, actually, I don't really know if I care to see it in theaters. Like, I've heard it's cool, but they're like, no, you gotta come see it. So I was like, all right, I'll go see it. So I just got back from that like an hour and a half ago, and I walked out of that like, oh, pretty fucking good movie, man. All right, I felt great. It was great. It's fun.
It looked good.
It's a fun
It
movie,
looks
so go
super
check
fun.
it out.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Thanks
try
for
to
the invite
spoil
and
it
all
for
that.
you or anything, but
Yeah,
there were
please
some
would've-
moments where I was
I
like,
probably wouldn't have
heck
gone because I
yes.
wanted to stream, but
My wife, who is not a big fan of like just dumb fun movies, went and saw it with one of her best friends this weekend. Was like, no, I wish you'd gone because it was fun. And it was just like a dumb movie that we really enjoyed. It was super fun to watch. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch
Yeah.
that soon.
All right. Anybody else hit some balls or do anything else this week?
I spent my whole weekend with you, you nerd. So
Losers.
No, interesting, he said.
So, Ro, we'll start with you. Video games.
Video
What did you do
games.
this week.
I purchased the Majora's Mask remake for the 3DS,
nice.
and I am impressed. I think it looks fantastic. They've added a few new things that were kind of weird to me at first, but then I was like, okay. Because the game is difficult. Like, you go in and you're like, okay, what do I do now? Or at least that's what like the old one was like. But now it's more helpful now. I think it's definitely easier. I've also been playing it on stream. I had just beaten Ocarina of Time for like the third time on stream, and then that's pretty much. I resubbed to WoW even though nobody's on.
We all log in when we're raiding. I'm playing right now.
I canceled my sub and uninstalled the game this week.
Uninstall? That's serious.
It's a great
I
first
wasn't
step.
playing, so
I feel like
Yeah.
Warlords of Draenor is really like losing that steam. There was a lot of hype on it when it first came out.
Well,
It's
the
fun
rating and
questing.
stuff's all the same. The leveling was just so
The
good.
leveling is
it's
fantastic.
just
The
so
leveling was
good.
amazing.
Like I encourage people like to just resub for a month just to experience the leveling and then decide if you actually care to play the game. But it's definitely worth it to experience that.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just reading something in chat. Majora's Mask is definitely one of those games that, like, in its original form, like, there's a lot to appreciate about it. It was really good, but it was also really inaccessible, and it did a really shitty job of, like, kind of pointing you in the right direction, because it had sort of that old school game design where, like, all right, in order to expand game length, where in order to make the game feel longer, we're just gonna basically have you run around with no direction, figure out where to go. Like if you ever played the first Legend of Zelda, you have no sort of context clues on where to go, because that was the days when like they wanted to sell, they actually gave a shit about selling game guides because the internet didn't exist yet, and like
it's a lot like Dark Souls.
Yeah. We talked about that at LAN this
It
weekend.
is.
Yeah.
It's more like Zelda than anything else, that game, oddly enough.
Yeah.
Especially Zelda 1. Good lord, what a hard game.
The side quests are so specific. Like some of the side quests, like the Anjun Cafe one, like you need to be at the inn at this time, then at this place at this time. And it's like, I would have never known that as like a kid, because I started playing that game when I was like 10 years old. And I was like, what do I do? So I just like run around in Deku form.
The original Zelda, so the original Zelda, a couple years after the original Nintendo came out, we got it at an EB Games. And I played that game for years and never finished it because that game is brutally difficult and it has no guide at all unless you go to the store and buy it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. By the way,
And the
shout outs to
internet came
Charles Hodes for subscribing.
Charlie.
Thank you, sir.
Charlie Hodes.
Charlie Hodes, thank you, sir.
Charlie Hodes, you the real MVP.
So just some Zelda this week?
Just Zelda, pretty much.
Man,
And wow.
I'm one of those people I never got into Zelda except for the Game Boy one. That was it.
Wait,
I
which
love
one?
Wind Waker, or not Wind Waker. I
Twilight
thought
Princess?
Wind Egg, Wind Waker.
Link's Awakening
Link's
is what you're
Awakening.
talking about. And yes,
Oh,
it's the
Link's
best Zelda.
Awakening.
It's the best Zelda, and if you think otherwise, you're wrong.
It's one of my favorite games of all time.
The end.
But yeah, I never spent. I want to kind of go back and play Zelda 1 now because I love Dark Souls so much. And
That would be. I would watch you
If
stream.
Zelda
that. That
1
would be
doesn't
fun to
have
see.
difficult combat like Dark Souls, actually gives a challenge outside of figuring out where you're going. I think Zelda is just going to be like, push this button, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not... Dark Souls
you
is
can
fun
end up
because of
in
the
a
combat.
horrible place in Zelda 1, just like you can in Dark Souls.
I feel like with Zelda 1, if you went into it being like, okay, I'm going to take this the same way I take Dark Souls, no guides, no maps, nothing online, just I'm going to explore it. That would be interesting to watch, especially if you've never played it before, because it's a game that does not hold your hand at all. It just lets you loose in the world.
Wait, Mike is all right. Well, then we'll go to Lindsay next. Apparently, Linz played some CS:GO. That's what I'm seeing.
All right. Here, I'll talk about some games that I played. Well, firstly, because I was gonna say, okay, well, I played some Evolve for the first time. That was cool. Whatever. And I started BioShock Infinite this week. I've never played it, and I just started it. Pretty into it.
Good
I'm
game.
gonna try to like stream the whole experience. So, and then I'm up to like 170 hours in H1Z1. So that's a problem,
Damn.
and I'm working on it. But no, I played CS:GO before, but I just played a little bit more recently. One of my friends was just like, "Come play with us, and I'll teach you." And they're really good and I'm not. So they were like, I've only ever played CS:GO like casual or a row, or did we play Arms Race or something?
Yeah, we played an arms race during one of the fucked up Fridays.
Yeah, something
where I destroyed Michael. My first time playing against any people on CS:GO, and I just, oh, that was hilarious.
Just crushed him, nuked down noob,
just crushed
subpar
him.
player.
So like that's all that I've ever really played.
Him.
But my friends were like, "No, we're gonna play competitive," and I was like, "I don't want to do that."
Oof.
But yeah, I
like
played it, and I'm not very good, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's
a good game. Damn it.
No, it's
really
fun.
well-made
Like I
game.
always
It's
enjoyed it
competitive.
before, but if I'm playing like late at night, I'm like, because I don't like to be bad, so I'm like trying to be good, and I was like, this is too stressful for me because I'm not good. I need to time out.
Yeah, that's why I stopped playing CS:GO, is because I like the feeling of being good at video games, and I fucking suck in CS:GO.
It'll take a lot of practice. So.
Oh yeah,
Easy
for
game.
sure.
But it's fun. It's fun.
Mike is upset in the chat right now.
Yeah, he's
Michael,
mad.
calm down.
Mike at
Bro, stop talking. Never mind. I don't want to talk about CS:GO anymore.
So, at risk of inciting the chat, how far are you in Infinite?
Oh, not very
Wait.
far. I'm only about 4.5 hours in.
All right.
Pretty
You're
far.
about
Further than I made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like the last thing that I was doing.
Have you?
was like-
You've not had anything. You're going in totally
Yeah.
blind on it. All right.
No, and I barely even played like any of the other BioShocks too. It's just I was thinking like I had it. I think I got it maybe on a sale or something, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna play this eventually. And I said, I tweeted and I was like, which one should I start with if I really want to play this? And they're like, if you have Infinite, just play Infinite. So
That is totally incorrect.
well,
It's totally also correct because it's a really good game.
see, it's like
Infinite
everybody
is-
has like a
I
different
never played
opinion.
BioShock
So
1 and 2.
I had it, and I just decided I would play it. So I stopped. That's right. Martian Manhunter is like somebody who watches some of my streams. I stopped at the start of the Fink section. I was right in there, and
okay.
that's kind of where I left off. So I assume I have still quite a bit more to go.
You should definitely
I'm
play
actually-
BioShock 1.
No, I'm not gonna spoil anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
gonna-
what
I'm gonna
looking in
represent
chat
Alex.
right now with my hand on the ban button. Because Hex
gonna
got
rep-
it spoiled for him the first night he got it.
I did the launch
yeah.
stream for Infinite, and some dickbag in my stream told me exactly how it ends, and I never finished it because that guy ruined it for me. But I will represent Alex right now and say the original BioShock, one of the best games of all time. It's the only game in my entire life that my wife sat behind me, watched me play, and said, "It feels like I'm watching a movie right now."
I've played a
super
little bit of
excited.
that. I just didn't finish it. So since I hadn't finished it and I wanted to play more, I was like, should I start that one over? Should I try to like go back from where I started? But I'm not going to remember anything because it was like a year and a half ago that I started BioShock, and I had Infinite sitting in my library, and I was like, I'll just start this here. I'll just start it.
I feel, I don't know. I think it might actually be interesting for you going back and playing BioShock 1 after you finish, if that's what you choose to do, obviously. After you finish Infinite, because there are tie-ins. They're not. I'm not going to spoil anything, but there are ways that the story ties into BioShock 1 without being like a direct sequel at the same time. So it would be interesting to see you as a player who's never played BioShock 1 go back and play it after playing Infinite, because everybody that I know who's played Infinite played 1. So
See, that's interesting because I was about to say from what I played, like the 3 or 4 hours of Infinite that I played, I didn't catch a correlation between Infinite and
it
the
happens
original.
later on. It happens later.
Okay, and that's why, and that's maybe why I'm not super into Infinite, because in BioShock, like, there's this whole reason why you have like the plasmids and why like the splicers are using the plasmids, and it's a very central part of the gameplay. But in Infinite, like, plasmids exist and you're the only one using them. Like, no one else in the entire game is using them, and I didn't understand why. And maybe that's explained later than what I played.
Not really.
That specific bit. No,
It's just the BioShock.
See, that's
game
weird to me
mechanic,
then.
Like that's why it's there. I
Yeah,
guess.
which is a little disappointing. And I don't know. I think you should probably play through Infinite all the way, but Infinite's world is just not as well crafted as 1. It's just
I think Infinite has better gun mechanics. I think the mechanics of the game are better, but there's something so special about Rapture. It's just like that world, for whatever reason, is so much better than any other world in the video game.
It was like a weirdly enchanting world, like to get into this entire different city below the sea. And if you haven't played it, you should go back and play it. You can catch it on a sale for like $3 at this point. BioShock is an amazing game.
I mean,
Yes.
I have the original BioShock. I've played I've played more hours than that I still have in Infinite. So
Finish it.
maybe I'll just have to go
Super
back and
good.
pick that up
Super.
afterwards.
And then you have to play Burial at Sea because that.
Oh, I still
DLC
haven't played that.
I haven't played that either.
Godlike.
But you haven't finished Infinite. You need to finish Infinite.
Yeah, you do
Yeah,
have to
I
finish
should go
Infinite
back.
before you do that.
Maybe we'll do a stream of that where I'll just go back and play through Infinite, and I won't care if it gets spoiled because I already know how it ends.
Yeah, you already know how it ends. But you,
Trust
you,
me,
do,
it's
you
worth
should
it.
get
Spoiler me
Burial
now.
at Sea if you don't have it.
Even with the spoilers.
Yeah, it's super good. All right, John, I know what you've been playing this week, but go ahead and tell me anyway.
I like Defense of the Ancients 2 by Valve Software.
Is that a new game? I've never heard of that before.
It's a good game. I like it. And then I've also played a little bit of CSGO. I play an after-hours gaming league. It's like the company versus company league for work. I play CSGO in those matches, and that's about it. But I've been playing Dota with Balls, or Jared. You know
Yeah.
Jared.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just play the Dota a lot. It's fucking the best game. Brandon played like 3 weekends ago, I think, with me and Aaron, guy I work with, and it was the least fun Brandon's ever had in his life. So
That's weird.
tell.
That's crazy. 'Cause he doesn't have any.
He's never playing again. He's never playing the game again. I guarantee it.
I have 3 hours in Dota. Crazy.
It's
I played a
that's the
match with
best
Nick
game.
Fenton against bots once. That was my
I
experience.
don't
with
find
Dota.
it fun. Not
That's your
about it.
shit.
Not about the life.
Dude, it's bad.
Well, I mean, Heroes
Dota's
of
not
New
fun
Earth.
if you care about being bad.
John knows
I
this
am
'cause he got
fucking
me in the Heroes of New
terrible.
Earth beta. Heroes of New Earth killed MOBAs for me forever, basically.
Oh yeah, you and everyone else who continued to play Heroes of New Earth. But
John was like, check out this beta, dude. Because we were playing Warhammer Online, RIP.
Rip
We were in
Warhammer.
that beta for a little bit. He was like, check this game out. And I was like, all right. And the first game I got in, some dude was like, you're fucking stuck. Like 5 minutes into the game, I was like, okay, all right, cool. Thanks, teammate. Like,
Correct.
just
I don't play
decided.
MOBAs.
And
That's
that
just
ruined
MOBAs in general, yeah.
forever for me. My hatred of them exists till this day. Blah. You've been on that Monster Hunter joint, but anyway,
I
Tell
open
me
my
if you were
mouth
playing.
and just like dragon scales and fucking weapon stats just pour out. That's all my life is Monster Hunter 4.
is it
It's
really
so
that fun? Is
fucking
that Wii U or regular Wii?
It's actually 3DS exclusive, which is weird because
is
3
weird.
Ultimate was actually on Wii U and 3DS, but for whatever reason, 4 Ultimate is only 3DS. I
people
don't
tell me I
understand what
should
the
play
logic
it
there
every
was.
day.
What?
People tell me I would love that game all the time.
I think you would. Monster Hunter takes a certain kind of person to play because there's no like ultimate point except to fight bigger monsters. Like
All right, I'm in.
it's very grindy, and especially if you ever like just set out like I really like the way this armor looks. I'm just gonna make it. That shit, you will be fighting the same monster. Like if it's high rank and there's like a rare piece, you're gonna end up fighting the same monster 100 fucking times. And I'm not gonna say that it's for everybody, but for those of us who do like it, 4 is easily like the best Monster Hunter ever. And there's something like really great about the whole idea of Monster Hunter in general, in that there's like it's kind of like there's always a bigger fish in the sea kind of thing, because you start off and you fight this raptor, right? And the raptor's called Jaggy, Great Jaggy. Jaggy's not very intimidating. You kill him, you're like, all right, he kind of gets you used to the game mechanics, and you build an armor set out of him maybe. And you're wearing his skin and his head as armor, and you made a weapon out of him too, and so you got this big badass armor, and you're like, all right, Jaggy's not a problem. And then you fight Rathian, who's this big dragon that breathes fire. And then you start to get good at the mechanics, and you start to learn the fight in and out. And then you make an armor set out of Rathian. Then you show up like, yes, I got this whole dragon scale armor shit. I've got this big fire enchanted weapon that I made out of it. And then you go up against something that eats Rathian, and it's just like, oh, that's cute. You made an armor out of that big ass dragon. I'm a bigger ass dragon, and you killed like 20 of them. I live on killing them. I've been killing them since the day I was born. You ain't shit to me. And then you make an armor set out of that guy, and that just basically rinses and repeats.
Wow.
And it's really cool. It's really. So when they say Monster Hunter, we're not talking about monsters as in like fucking ghosts and goblins and shit. It's monsters as in they're all very like inspired by real animals or dragons or things like that, spiders and what have you. Not anything real, actually. Spiders, fictional things. So and they're basically giant animals, sometimes with like fire breathing powers, but for the most part, it's not like a fantasy kind of thing. And you literally just like show up in like a beautiful, lush environment, place where this thing lives and eats and sleeps, and you track it, you hunt it, you whittle it down over a long period of time. It's a third-person action game where every single encounter is a boss, basically. Like everything is a boss fight. Everything is a 15-minute fight.
Reasonable.
It's really fun. It's also difficult. There's no sort of lock on. You can lock onto a monster and focus your camera on it, but you can't hold that button in order to keep aiming at it and swing at it. You have to get good at actually fighting. You have to control the character yourself. You have to learn timing. You have to get used to the very slow weapon swings. You have to get used to the fact that if you drink a potion, it's going to leave you vulnerable for a good 3 or 4 seconds, which you could the monster could just run across the map and fuck you up.
Souls.
It sounds like Pokemon meets Dark Souls. Like that's what I'm getting out of this.
It's almost kind of a fair comparison. Anyway,
it seems like there's a different bunch of monsters that you're going after, which is the Pokemon aspect, but that grindy, like super in-depth combat reminds me immediately of Dark Souls. Dan, how are you not playing this game? I feel like
it's very much like
3DS, bro.
It's very much like think there's no lock on in Dark Souls, and every fight is a boss fight, more or less.
Maybe I'll get my kid a 3DS under the.
We can get you.
I have a 3DS. I've put about 3 minutes into it so far.
We can get you Dolphin with Monster Hunter Try. You can try that out.
Well, I'm not gonna endorse piracy, but if you have any way of like trying try through
God damn, Nick. Jesus.
Anyway. If you have any way of trying out a Monster Hunter, if you could borrow it from a friend or whatever, and you can play Try
from my friend. Oh, he ripped again.
The internet, my friend, the internet.
Look at that pose. His computer just blue screened, I bet.
Sanguise and Jealous, thank you for the subscription.
Thank you so much.
Sanguis.
Man, poor Blah. So I mean, we'll come back to Blah if he exists again here.
Dead again.
But Hex, besides the LAN, which we will talk about in a second, what did you play this week?
The big thing I played this week was Hand of Fate. We did a dev interview earlier on Monday with Defiant Dev. Get to play. So I had not seen Dan play the game when he did the first look after Prime last year. I had not heard anything about this game at all. And Matty Mouse kind of dumped it in my lap at the last second. Was like,
kind of did.
Hey, today talk to a dev about this game. Here, just take the game. Just do it. And I was like, okay, I've never heard of this before. So I dumped into it about an hour before the dev interview and tinkered around with it a little bit. And during that stream, I fell in love with that game. It is like the best combination of like a tabletop card game, sort a la Munchkin. If anybody's ever played Munchkin before, it's like a dungeon crawler card game where everything that you draw or play kind of affects how your character works. And then so the way that the game works is basically the dealer, who has no name, which I specifically asked, does the dealer have a name? Nope, it's just the dealer. He plays out like essentially a grid for you to play on, and then you move through the cards, and every card gives you essentially like an encounter. So like here's the peasant, or here's like the magician that's selling you things, or here's like the goblins that are trying to steal your shit. So you go to each of those cards until you can get out of the board, and the cards that you draw during your turn give you your weapons or your armor, and then as you do each encounter, it turns into Arkham City. So it's just nonstop combo-based combat. It was so much fun. It is so far my favorite single-player game of 2015, and I unlocked several achievements during that one stream, having never played it before.
You got really far. RNGesus was like carrying you across the beach. There was only one set of footprints, and they belonged to RNGesus.
RNGesus carried me through so many cards.
X was down to like 2 health in several battles, and then just kept winning.
Came out of the battle alive with no hits, and then immediately the RNG for what cards the dealer draws for you. Like, okay, you won this round, so here's the cards I'll give you for winning that. We're all health. It was super fun. It's available on Steam right now. It just launched this week. Hand of Fate was fantastic. Go out and pick it up. It's
really good for streams too. It's a super good streaming game, Hand of Fate.
Great stream game, especially because like every card kind of gives you a little bit of lore about the environment you're working in. So it's fun to read and kind of build with your chat and see how they're going to react to how you play the game. that was the biggest thing I played this week outside of LAN. Actually, I don't know that I played anything else besides that outside of LAN. So go check out Hand of Fate. Super fun.
If you like deck builders and you like D&D at all, you'll love Hand of Fate. And if you are good at the Arkham style combat, you'll be pretty at home as well.
Especially
really
if you're into deck builders. Like, I didn't even get into the deck building element yet. I just let the game build my decks for me. But you can go through and customize your deck completely about what cards you're going to pull, what kind of armor, weapons, what kind of benefits you have. If you're super into deck builders and you like combat games, Hand of Fate is amazing. Go buy it.
He didn't make it to the end. He made it to like 8 or 9 bosses in, though. Like, he was pretty far.
We were on the second row of cards, so the way that their setup is like, it's like 7 rows of cards or 8 rows of cards, and we got into row 3, I think.
You were pretty far, man. Like,
we did well. It was fun.
Yeah, RNGesus was deep within you at that point. So between every deck, I guess, in Hand of Fate, you can rebuild your deck with cards you unlock, so you can kind of customize what weapons you're going to get. So if you know something's really good, you can put it in there. You may pull it. I think it's super good for streaming because it has those highs and lows of like a Binding of Isaac or a Dark Souls, or a little RNG mixed in there, and you also never know really what's going to happen.
Right.
It's not quite Darkest Dungeon levels of screwing you over, but really nothing is. So
the other cool thing about it is that a lot of the encounters that you get with a specific card have a token on them. So if you meet the challenge for the card, which the one that I just saw in the highlight that I was looking at the other day was, there was like a peasant that came up to me and said, "Hey, I'm really hungry. Do you have any food?" And I had only given them 1 food instead of 2. And if I'd given them 2, I'd have gotten a token off of that card. And at the end of the, for lack of a better term, level of the card grid, every token you get gives you your unlocks. So it gives you all the stuff that you're going to build your decks later for. So those decisions of like, can I give someone X number of food or Y number of food really contribute to how your deck building works. And so do all of your victories against other enemies. So there's a really interesting dynamic about how you build decks versus how you defeat people in the combat system. It's a great game.
Yeah, it's good. What did I play this week? I don't even remember. I played a bunch of NHL 15 and then some Isaac as well. I had my most overpowered run of Isaac ever. I got Tammy's head and Brimstone, which anyone who plays that game, you just walk into the room, hit Tammy's head, and everything dies. And then you go to the next room, and that's it. That's all you do for the remainder of the game once you get that combo. But we had our first Extra Life LAN of the year. It was kind of a test run yesterday of some new equipment that we have. We made a stream box with 3 Live Gamer HDs in it. And thanks to you guys, actually, we wouldn't have been able to do it without subs and all your support. And it worked super well, just right away. There was almost no hiccups. The audio is a bit of a problem, but we're going to get a mixer and some other things to prevent that from being a problem again, like a big 24-channel mixer. But we played all kinds of games. We played Just Cause 2, multiplayer, which was hilarious, as always. Shout out to JMan100, who actually subbed to the channel yesterday. His server is godlike. Gave us all VIP. And, he's an awesome dude. What else did we play? We played some CSGO. We beat X-Men, the arcade game. And
what a great part of that stream.
Turtles in Time. Both of which are just such good beat 'em up, like 4-player brawlers from back in the day. I remember pumping so many quarters into Turtles in Time at the skating rink when I was in high school.
Oh yeah.
Such good games.
Also, shouts to the Simpsons game.
Yeah, we didn't play the Simpsons. We
should have. You fucked up.
I know we did fuck up.
Yeah, we did.
We played Original Gauntlet, which was really bad.
Oh,
really bad.
It does not hold up.
Yeah, it doesn't
does
hold up
not
at all.
hold up at all.
New Gauntlet kind of sucks too.
But then
New Gauntlet's alright. I like New Gauntlet.
The most hype thing though in the world is 2v2 NBA Jam when you're all in the same room.
Literal
Oh yeah. Oh my god, I forgot about
Jam.
NBA Jam.
Oh,
There will be a video going up tomorrow on the KBMOD YouTube channel of the best game of NBA Jam ever
in recorded history. Yeah, no, that is the one.
Best home game. The
ends
best games of NBA Jam are absolutely in the arcade.
That's true.
That's fair. Yeah, if you're on a cab with 4
dudes
people,
you don't know
that's when I
talking
play it.
shit too. But like it was me and Mike versus Hex and Tim, and Mike and I were the Knicks, so we were Patrick Ewing and John Starks versus I think you guys were the Bulls, I believe. With
No, we
Scottie
were
Pippen.
whoever is purple.
Oh no, you were the Suns then.
Yeah,
So it
we were the
was
Suns.
Barkley
I
and
don't
Dan
follow
Marley.
basketball.
And at one point we had like a 20-point lead in it, and then I
We
won't
came
ruin
back,
it. It was
motherfucker.
super hype. Patrick Ewing timer scam.
That timer scam, the most miserable angry dunk, like just the fuck you dunk at the end of that game was so good.
So the clock
I can't
runs
wait for
while
it
you
to go
do
up.
those ridiculous, stupid dunks. Like, you know, it takes like 5 seconds to get to the rim, and the clock runs while it happens. So the game ended while he was mid dunk.
And it freezes the frame on him like a third of a foot off of the dunk. Like, what an
This chat
asshole,
right now is
Patrick Ewing.
ridiculous. But on the highest side of things, we raised $2,100 yesterday for Extra Life. You guys were amazing. We'll be figuring out the prize winners this week, including whoever won the GTX 960 that Bob desperately wanted to spend money on. So, so the team is up at $8,585 now. So, awesome stream. The mods were awesome. Everyone who hosted and tweeted it out, it was a really good time. I think it's the best LAN stream we've ever done, far and away. So thank you guys for coming out to that yesterday. We'll have another couch stream next month. I don't know when we'll have another LAN type stream, but probably not for several months. But yeah, it was a really good time. So yeah, $2,100 raised. You guys are amazing. We're gonna take a quick little commercial break and come back with a little bit of news this week. There actually wasn't that much. A lot of these are quick, so we're gonna take a commercial break here, and we will be back in 2 minutes. Here we go. God, if I could just play NBA Jam for the rest of my life.
It's a solid choice.
Okay, actually.
As a viewer, it was fun to watch too. It was just hilarious.
Mike talking so much shit. Mike would not pass the ball either. He would not pass the ball. If he got Patrick Ewing, like, anywhere within the 3-point line, he was immediately attempting to dunk. There was no passing to me at all. I was just sort of there.
Dude, they'll try to steal his thunder.
Yeah, but he was right today. He said, like, the only thing that saved you guys on that last match with me and Tim was your defense, and your defense was just on point in that last game.
I was on fire with that. My whole role in that game was to steal the ball and then pass it to Mike.
The game that wasn't against Minnesota, where none of us could hit threes, that was my entire role with Tim. Like, just steal the ball, give it to Tim, let him hit a three from that exact same spot. And you never caught it. You were just like, all right, let him hit that three from the same point over and over and over.
I was
on
Patrick
fire.
fucking Ewing. This is Mike's excuse. We had a great transition game. Yo, I'm not denying that. We were amazing. We won several games by 20.
I like how Mike put that in chat. I was Patrick fucking Meow Twing. Meow Twung.
I guess it's like
Yeah,
Patrick
well.
Ewing if he had sex with a cat. I don't know.
Look, don't judge Patrick Ewing, all right?
I hope it's one of the bigger cats.
Yeah, it's gotta be. I mean,
It's a
he's
For the
pain
cat's
guy.
sake. Although it might put Mr. Ewing in a little bit more danger.
steal the ball and pass it to Mike. Scottie Pippen's entire career. Correct. I love that Michael Jordan isn't in that game.
At the peak of his career, right? Like,
Yeah. 'Cause they
mid-90s
couldn't-
Michael Jordan
They
would have
couldn't
been...
get the NBA to license to the game fully, so they had to just get individual player permission. So
Yeah.
the Bulls had Scottie Pippen and BJ Armstrong.
Still not a bad combo.
Yeah, but like
But not
on,
Jordan.
dude.
Well,
Michael
See,
Jordan.
If Jordan had been in that game, it would have been like Mario Lemieux Hockey for the Sega Genesis, where he could literally do no wrong and everything would score. He'd have all nines. Like that would be his entire spec.
Yeah.
Or like Bo Jackson in Tecmo Bowl.
In Tecmo Bowl, Bo does destroying every other team.
There's videos
Touchdown
on
Thurman
YouTube.
Thomas.
Yep. God.
Memes.
At least it wasn't Bill Cartwright. Somewhat correct. All right. We're back from commercial. John is not, but we are. Damn
John is dead. So
I think John said he was having some
Rowtendo
issues
and
with this
Linz.
call.
Our guest this week. And what the hell is the timestamp? Come on, OBS. Bitch. All right.
Professional podcasting 101.
Yes. All right.
Mutter angrily at your timestamps.
we'll edit
Well, we
that out.
don't
in
even have
post.
a
No, it
recorder
won't.
now, so these don't even matter. It's just like,
Oh, we just
just like
ripping
for
them off
my
the
own
lots.
peace of mind.
Pamela, come
Oh,
on,
gotcha.
Pamela.
Yeah, rip Pamela. She was a good
Pamela.
lady for many years, but she's dead now.
she died.
She died.
She's no longer with us.
I mean, she's still on my computer, but
It's her rotting corpse.
yeah.
Oh
Wow.
my god.
Okay, wow. All right.
We did attempt to play H1Z1 yesterday. Someone in the chat just remembered me, but apparently,
We're trying to do battle royale.
yeah,
Yeah,
did
Yeah.
not work at all.
does not
It's a pain in the
exist.
ass. Those queues are really
So-
not
Booze.
working
Yeah.
well.
Work even like
No.
Yeah, like so I've tried to get into a couple different battle royales. It's like essentially you have to get into it like immediately as it pops up. And if you're like a certain number or above, you're probably not gonna it's like, okay, so they have so many servers that go up once the game is over. And so like if you try to get in, if you're above a certain number, you're just in the queue and you're not gonna get in, and then you're in the queue for only that server until that game is over on that server. So it's like it's better to leave that and like try again than wait there for like, I don't know, it could be 45 minutes, before before the last person on that server dies or something.
Right.
So
Yeah, Mike sat at number 2 for like.
yeah, and I've sat at
45
number
minutes.
2
we
for
just
quite a
went
while. Yeah,
and we just started playing CS:GO.
yeah, you just have to try like over and over and over again until you just do it fast enough. I guess eventually you'll have characters on all the servers because you tried so many times, and then you don't have to type anything in. You can just hit enter.
It's a terrible
Exactly.
system. Jimmy Whiz,
Yeah,
it's a
I
terrible
think that they're
system.
actually working on that. That's one of the
The
things
fucking
that I
call out.
I hope so.
I frequent the subreddit for H1Z1, and I'm always like on the forums because I'm really into that game for some reason. It just clicks with me, but
71
It's a fun
hours.
game.
yeah, it's super fun. But yeah, I think that's something that they're working on is the battle royale system because battle royale is super fun.
Yeah.
I got to third place the other night and I didn't even kill anybody. That was weird.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, we played some Payday yesterday too. Not
That
very
was
much
a
of it.
disaster.
Hex fucking. So we do the jewelry mission where it
I'm great
specifically
at killing
says
cops.
use stealth. So, Tim and I walk around the back to go in the jewelry store, and Hex just shoots the cop in the face just immediately.
He looked
Wow.
kind of weird.
Jesus, dude, come on.
We all died.
Expression.
We all died. Yeah, that's the only thing we failed.
Can you just
Um,
respect the police?
Yeah.
No, fuck
Come on.
police.
Oh god.
Um,
Young gamer got it bad because I'm bearded.
So, first story, we have to announce the Bro Cave competition winner. We've had this up for about a month now, close to that. The top 5 were Cryptoron, Jiggly-Bits, Boss Jedi Zohan, Bob a Red Dino, and Cnuns. I think that's how you pronounce it. Those are the top 5. Hazard 2 Gosu tied with Cnuns despite being a laptop in the middle of his dining room. But that's KBMOD voting on something for you right there. Everyone else has
Also-
like these color coordinated builds, like ridiculous shit. And this dude's
That's
on an
effort.
HP laptop in his dining room and finishes in the top 5.
He might
you
have.
haven't-
People might have voted for him because they felt bad.
Yeah,
No, if
won
you
the
haven't
one
read
of
his
those.
forum post,
They
So-
probably thought it was like a pimp my setup video or something.
if you haven't read his forum post, go read it because
pretty hilarious.
it's well written and funny. Like it's really funny, and that was why I think he got the number of votes he did because he was just funny about it. He thought it was. I mean, it's a funny setup, and he wrote it well.
So the winner of the sort of community vote was Cryptoron, who is now putting together his absolutely ridiculous SLI 980s PC. he won the community vote. We all pretty much consensus chose Jiggly to win. You can go check out all the ones on the website. Jiggly is ridiculous though. Like a fully color coordinated room, TVs mounted to the wall, monitors mounted to the wall. It's pretty amazing. He's got like a huge desk with like a tablet station on it and stuff. I'll link it in the chat right now. But yeah, so pretty much we were all behind his for the main winner. We're gonna have something for the community winner, Crypteron. I'm not sure what yet, but Jiggly has won $60 worth of Steam games, whatever he wants. So we'll get in touch with him. If he's here, we'll be getting in touch with you. Or if you listen to this on iTunes, we'll also be getting in touch with you. So congrats to him. Big news this week from our brethren at Twitch. TwitchCon is a thing that is happening in September. September 25th to the 26th, I believe, in San Francisco. So another con to see people at.
In the best city this time, though.
No real full details yet.
There will be alcohol. I will just confirm this up front.
All right, that's all that matters to me.
Yep.
I will see you there.
So
there will be drinks.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Come out Twitchcon September 25th to the 26th. That is about all the details. I can't wait to keg stand.
Lexi, yes, thank you for the
subscribing. So at least, of course, the Twitch guys will be there, but at least one or two of us will probably also be there for that event, as well as PAX Prime the month before. So you can get a chance to see the KBMOD folks and friends at all that. Other news this week: the Order 1886 came out for the PS4, and immediately
got shit on.
Yeah, it pretty much got shit on all over the place. So these devs have already said, and I quote, "There's a certain amount of haterade out there for our game," which is like not the correct phrasing of that at all. But
no, it's not. But it's so funny.
So this was a game that we've actually been ripping on since E3, due to it being in a quote cinematic 24 FPS. Quote.
Yeah, I remember playing Just Cause 2 multiplayer this weekend at 24 frames per second. It was
not cinematic. So, like, I don't know. It does appear. Thank you for putting that in chat. This appears to be the Rise Son of Rome tech demo for the PS4. That's what this game appears to be.
Oh my god.
So, it's from all reports. I did not buy it for my PS4. It's about 6 hours long, and about an hour and a half of that to 2 hours are unskippable cutscenes.
Good gameplay design.
So you're paying $60 to play a game at 30 FPS that admittedly looks pretty good. The penises are rendered flawlessly in this game.
Game of the year.
There are more than a few dicks in this game.
Cinematic.
Yeah, some cinematic dicks. So it's a lot of, you know, third person shooting and quick time events. And Sushi Sam asked on Twitter, she's like, the Order 1886, yay or nay? And I was like, just go watch it on YouTube. It's basically going to be the same thing. Just capture the YouTube screen at 1080p, and you'll.
And set your refresh rate of your computer at 24.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
beautifully cinematic.
Beautifully cinematic. But these guys have handled this in a horrible way. It's sort of brought forward a lot of questions of what is good value in a game. We've talked about that a little bit before. So for instance, BioShock Infinite is a good example. That game is like between 10 to 12 hours, depending on how much extra stuff you do. But to me, it was more than worth the $60. Like, the quality of it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, but I
it's not a terribly long game.
No, not incredibly long. The Crew was 22 hours. Somehow.
How long was Watch Dogs, Dan?
Watch Dogs was 23 hours. I think it took me to beat Watch Dogs.
You're never gonna get that day of your life back.
No, I'm not. It's gone forever.
Did you play that before or after you had a stroke?
Well before, but that might have been a contributing factor.
Do you find it a coincidence? Because I don't. Sure.
Listen, his hat was so iconic. I couldn't stop
The iconic hat of Aiden.
Oh my god.
But
bonus.
so what? I mean, what do you guys think? Is 6 hours too short for a
Yeah.
Not if
$60
it's a
game,
super
yeah.
good. Not if it's an incredible game, but
It would need to be
yes,
incredible, but by all accounts, this game was not.
Yep.
So
It apparently
No, I mean,
looks
like-
quite good, regardless. But you know,
Okay, so think about your favorite game of all time. Like, best game you've ever played. Link's Awakening, I can finish in 6 hours at this point, but the first time I played it, it took me like, I don't know, a fucking year because I was a kid. But now I can beat it in like probably 5.5 hours if I really cranked it out. Even the best game of all time, 6 hours is not worth $60.
no. Well,
Yeah,
like, I mean, if you're looking at any sort of iconic title, you know, Ocarina of Time, Final Fantasy VII, Dark Souls, all of these games are double-digit hours. If
And
they're
I don't-
well into that, you know.
I don't doubt that there are really amazing games out there that are 6 hours long, but if your game is only 6 hours long, you have to be delivering a phenomenal experience, especially if you're selling it for $60. I can think of a couple of games that are like maybe 6 hours long, maybe even 2 hours long, that are massively regarded as masterpieces, widely regarded as masterpieces, but they're also like $15 on like PlayStation Network.
Yeah.
Right.
Journey.
And so even
Journey is
think about
exactly what
like
I'm thinking about.
everyone always makes the reference of like games are art. Let's compare them to movies. Even if you took like, I don't know, Godfather 2, which is almost 4 hours long, that movie, if you saw it in theaters, would be like what, when it came out, $4 for 4 hours. Now, even if you went and saw a rescreening, it'd be like $12.
Yeah, 10 to 12.
It's an amazing experience at that point, but it's $12, not $60.
I just think
Exactly.
we've had 2 weeks in a row now. We had Peter Molyneux last week, that skating interview, of people over-promising what their game is going to be, and then massively under-delivering. The Order had been hyped since the PS4 was announced as, like, the flagship game. Look at how good this thing is going to look. Like,
Yep.
this is the power of this system. And then it's just a bunch of QuickTime events and third-person combat and
dicks.
2 hours of cutscenes. There are dicks in it. I mean, I'm not going to downplay the dicks.
Not gonna knock the dicks.
But I mean, I don't know. I think both systems have now had their one huge fail with the sort of flagship game. It took PS4 2 years, but God, I hope Bloodborne is good.
For the Order, it doesn't have multiplayer, does it?
Nope.
Like an actual. Okay.
Nope.
I feel like if it were to have a multiplayer, like that you could play whenever you want with like friends, kind of like what Left 4 Dead has.
Mhm.
You know, I feel that it may be worth the $60, but since it doesn't, it's kind of like, well, it's
Well, right. A lot of times, a game's replayability and how many hours you can end up sinking into it are a large part of that is going to be extended greatly by the presence of a solid multiplayer aspect. But if you're
Exactly.
going for a solely single player experience, like, you really need to deliver something unique in this day and age. People have so many other options for just playing the shit out of a game that they paid next to nothing for, that you can't try to sell somebody a 6 hour mediocre AAA game that just looks really nice, even though in this case it didn't even do that, for fucking $60. It's just not even acceptable this day and age. Doesn't work.
Trying to find this tweet. I never favorite tweets, but I favorited this tweet. It was like, I forget what games he was talking about, but he was like, Max Parker, who's a local reporter here on games in Pittsburgh, said like, oh, it was Evolve. He's like, if you just packaged Evolve and the Order 1886, you'd have one full game. Like that.
That's not far from accurate.
No,
Yeah.
it's $120 to get your multiplayer and your single player experience. Like a really pretty, really pretty good to look at cinematic story, and then some very intense multiplayer. But it's $120. $250 if you count the DLC for Evolved.
I feel like it's way more excusable for a game to come out without a single player
I think so
for
too.
$60. As long as that multiplayer is good, than it is for a single player game. Unless the single player is like, really long or really, really good. Or both, ideally.
And multiplayer is inherently replayable.
Exactly.
And from what I've heard about the Order, you play through it once. There's no going back and being
one and done.
I discovered this other ending or something. That isn't in there. It's just that's what it is. So yeah, maybe hopefully Bloodborne's good because that's the other PS4 marquee title, which I will get on launch, of course. But
cannot wait.
Dude, Last Guardian's gonna come out sometime. It's
canceled, man. Officially.
Did it finally get canceled?
Last Guardian.
Yeah, Last Guardian's canceled.
Dead.
Oh, I totally missed that.
Last week. Rip a dip.
Did it died?
Much like Pamela, it died.
Yes.
Poor Pamela.
Just a couple other quick news stories this week. TwitchCon and the Order were the big ones this week. There really wasn't much. It's a very slow time of year for games, as far as news. So, ESL is going to host the world's largest CS:GO event inside a hockey arena in Germany this time. ESL 1 Cologne is going to be inside a hockey arena. The pot isn't any bigger than last year, still $250,000, which obviously is pretty good. but
that's plenty of dollars.
Yeah, that's plenty of dollars. That'll be in August. It doesn't say how it's going to be the largest. I would just assume they're having more teams invited to it and more sort of preliminary rounds. But the fact that it's going to be in an arena is amazing. We'll see how many people they actually pack into it. But very cool CS moving up in the world there. Dota 2, John's current obsession, has hit 1 million concurrent players, the first Steam game to do so. That is pretty insane. Because that's like 1 out of every 8 or 9 people on Steam daily playing that game at the same time. Because Steam recently hit, I think, 8 million concurrent was like a big milestone.
Still only like 1/5 or 1/6 of League of Legends, though, to give you an idea of how large League of Legends is.
Yeah.
It's insane.
So, that Project Cars was delayed again. That's bad news. Moved back to April.
Womp womp.
I know, I'm so upset, but the game will be better. And last but not least, Sexy Housekeeper Sim is a thing that exists. It's a game called Sunset.
I just watched this trailer and I'm totally confused. I don't get this.
You're going to buy it, aren't you?
Well, yeah, I'm definitely going to play this.
I mean, I will absolutely play this game, but I will not understand it in any way.
So here's how it was explained. For each task in the apartment, so you play as a housekeeper, okay? If that wasn't obvious. For each task in the apartment, there's more than one way of performing it. A neutral way, or a naughty, funny way, or flirty way. So, essentially, you can, go Paragon or...
Wait, are you trying to make this the KOTOR of fucking apartment cleaning games? You can go light side, dark side, or gray Jedi. You can either flirt or you can just be chaotic
neutral housekeeper by the end. Chaotic neutral. I'll be really passive aggressive about this dude's habits. So it's going to be $20 at launch, but if you pre-order, you get $5 off. So
this looks to me like a weird, creepy 50 Shades of Grey, but the lady in the book is the housekeeper. The dude has a very specific set of interests, and the housekeeper has to meet those interests. I don't like this trailer.
Yeah, his interests are keep my fucking house clean. Stop trying to have sex with me.
Well, it takes place. This is the weird part. It takes place in a fictitious tropical island torn apart by civil war in 1972. So it's Panau and Just Cause. So you're a housekeeper on Panau.
Or the island in Tropico.
And Rico Rodriguez is going to bust through your shit with a wingsuit on, driving a whale car.
Fuck you while you clean his apartment.
Does your employer have a grappling hook and a parachute? Because if not interested.
I know who he is.
Very specific.
What's how do you win? What do you do? Why are you acting different ways?
You'll have to decide how to establish a relationship with the dashing insurgent gentleman whose abode you're in charge of maintaining.
Yeah.
This is
Like-
Panau Apartment Cleaning Simulator 2015.
So-
I mean, like, what if
Yes.
I played this and I just did everything like really normal? Like, yes, this is my job. I'm a housekeeper, and then like that's the game.
You
That's
just
the
showed
game.
up every day, like vacuum the floor, wipe down the mantle.
You know, and he says
Like,
something,
that
and I'm
was
like,
it.
yes,
Wipe
sir.
down the
and then I just do
mail?
it.
The
Mantle, I think he said. Yeah.
The
I was
mantle.
like, did you say wipe down the mail?
Maybe that's the hot coffee mod. You wipe down the mail. That's it.
I don't think you need a
Coffee
mod. Is that what housekeepers do? Do they clean the boys? Well, just walk
Look,
up
they're
and clean
waxing the
mail?
candlesticks. All right, that's just keep it
M-A-L-E.
clean and prim and proper, but also a little quiet. That's all.
Yeah.
You just kept your head down and just showed up, earned your paycheck, and then it's like,
Well,
all
you're
right,
keeping your head
you've
down,
earned
huh?
enough to go back to college. Congratulations.
I just don't get it because it's like oh, you're in a fictitious tropical island torn apart by civil war, but the objective is, oh, are you going to establish a relationship with the guy? And it's like, what's the whole point of like, I don't know. Maybe
Listen.
there's like some story aspect to it, but it's like, oh, your island's getting torn apart by war, and then the trailer is the girl gasping because the bombs or whatever are going off, and all of a sudden, no.
I gotta clean this dust off from all these bombs.
Did you make sure all his highball glasses are perfectly lined up on the shelf for when the scotch shows up? Forget the war. How are his highball glasses? That's important.
Does your employer have any effect on the war? Because if he's like a general or something, maybe someone approaches you about assassinating him.
Okay, well,
maybe
that's
you give
more
him
interesting.
advice that ends up ending the war,
Right.
and then you become first lady when he takes over. Like, I
Oh,
don't-
so wait. This is like a double agent thing where the maid is like a spy between like
Yes.
Could be.
the
No.
two factions, and she's giving information to the guy from Just Cause 2, and that's
Yes.
how the war changes. Like,
Possibility.
no, she's just cleaning glasses.
I will
and
never
shelves
not
and
think
handles.
that this guy is not Rico Rodriguez.
Yeah.
For this
Yeah,
entire
there's no way.
Just saying. So, new releases this week. There's actually several of note this week. Tuesday, February 24th, there came an Echo, a game we played at PAX East last year. I think it was PAX East and not Prime. It's a
remember.
voice-controlled RTS game. And the voice control worked super good, even on the floor of PAX when we played it there. Yeah, that's coming out on Tuesday. It's very interesting, except I can't wait till someone tries to stream it and talks to their chat and gets all their people killed by random voice commands, because that's definitely going to happen.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But the voice commands work super well. I've played it. I played it at PAX, and that was on a noisy show floor, as I said, and it still works pretty well. Wednesday, the 25th, Homeworld Remastered comes out, which seems to be an amazing feat by Gearbox. Hex has played it. We got to see some of it offline at the LAN the other day. It looks beautiful.
It's a gorgeous game.
He's going to be playing that on stream with Diction, I believe, on Wednesday.
Yep.
So that comes out on Wednesday. Homeworld is an older RTS, for those that don't know, so that's what kind of game it is. Oddworld New and Tasty also comes out, which is a full-on remake, remastered audio, redid a bunch of the controls, redid all the graphics on the original Oddworld Abe's Odyssey, which is a fantastic game. If you haven't played Oddworld, it's quite good. It's very old school, but this is a full-on remake of it, so I would recommend getting this one. Sounds like it's going to be pretty good. And Thursday, Dragon Ball Xenoverse comes out. The Dragon Ball Z fighting game. Tim is going to be streaming that for us because AJ
Does it look any
is
good?
not.
Does it look good? I haven't looked at
It
it.
actually
It looks good, yeah.
Supposedly looks really good. I know nothing about Dragon Ball Z, so
I love anime, dude. I love
It's-
talking
I mean,
about anime.
It's the Dimps guys, the Street Fighter 4's guys, and the early preview stuff for it has looked pretty good. As someone who watched a bunch of Dragon Ball Z when I was a kid, I'll be honest with you, I'm on the street. I'm on the
fighting
Steam
systems
page
are
right
done by
now.
The same people who did the Street Fighter 4 fighting system. So I mean, it should be a pretty tight fighting game.
I'm buying it right now actually because I really want to play that game.
So Tim's gonna be streaming that for us. So that is it for the news this week. There wasn't much, as I said. Tim is streaming it. The Resident Sleeper emotes come out.
Who?
Who? Yeah, exactly. We're going to take a quick 2-minute commercial break, guys, and be back with the viewer questions, as always. So we'll see you in 2 minutes. Confirm Blah loves anime.
Love talking about it, man.
I love talking
There's
about
one
it with
thing.
my chat. Subs or dubs, man. Man up on an answer.
One thing I love talking about on my cast. It's anime.
It's anime.
And all of the things that entails, such as dubs subs, Sword Art Online.
Yo, I started to watch Sword Art Online.
I heard it's shit.
That's kind of where I was with it. Yeah. It was.
Nothing about it that I've seen makes me like even remotely interested in it, and just like it just always comes up. Hey, Blah, you seen Sword Art Online? You should watch Sword Art Online. No.
You ever heard of anime before?
Hey, kid.
You ever heard of anime?
Kid. Hey, kid. You want some anime?
You want to try a little bit of anime?
Opening a trench coat full of anime.
First hit's free on the anime.
Trench coat full of anime. He's also naked under the trench coat. So it's
He's
really
just naked
awkward.
and just like,
here's these DVDs.
I got
kid.
DBZs. I got
And my
Naruto's.
I'm naked except for a single Naruto ninja headband across one of my arms.
Oh god!
Underneath
Dude,
the trench coat, and the
Leaf
trench coat
Village
is just
for life,
lined
dog.
with DVDs,
Leaf Village
Blu-rays.
for life. Kakashi is my spirit animal.
Kakashi. Single Sharingan eye.
What a beast. Love him.
God.
I need to finish Shippuden someday. I'm like halfway through it. I need to finish it. I need to sit down and watch 200 episodes of Naruto.
I love the fact that like you've watched it so much, but you still call it Naruto, which is like the #1 no among the whole fandom.
Wait, is there something else you call it? Like
Naruto.
Naruto.
I don't. It's an inflection thing.
Cool. You guys are fucking nerds.
Things I could care less about.
You're not a real fan, Dan. You're a poser Naruto fan.
Guess
The
not.
poser.
Blah
Filthy
sexually
gaijin.
identifies as Rock Lee. God.
I think I did use Rock Lee
stereotypical-
in a metaphor once in a YouTube video describing like my approach to
Rock
editing
Lee.
videos is that everyone says I'm good at it, but I have no talent for it. So I just worked really hard until like I would rather than like have talent just instantly understand editing software. I was self-taught and I would just sit there and edit a video for 5 hours until it looked good. Therefore, Rock Lee.
And then they didn't look good because you made them. Wow. That's terrible.
It's good support.
Fucking fired.
It's good
Solid
support
boss
there.
you have there.
Why did I just buy this Dragon Ball game? Why did I do this to myself?
Because you're
Decision.
awesome.
No, it's terrible. Now I'm gonna have to stream it with Tim on Friday.
Yes, you are. You're gonna have to play Dragon Ball with each other, and I'm pretty happy.
I will
about
play
it.
with Tim's Dragon Balls.
Play with the Tim hole. Put your Dragon Balls in the Tim hole.
Don't.
in
They'll be something that is literally impossible to destroy will be destroyed by the Tim hole.
All right. God, this WWE pay-per-view is still going on. By the way, on my other monitor.
The Oscars are also still going on, so
Like, Goldust has just wrestled. Anyway, first question. Insane Asylum asks, what's the funniest game you've played in recent memory?
oof.
Oh, I know mine.
What?
Well, let's say
South
it.
Park and the Stick
Yeah.
of Truth.
Yes.
I still haven't played
That
it.
game is freaking hilarious. I didn't play it until like a couple months ago, until it was on sale, and I don't regret it. It's actually one of like the more fun games I've played ever.
It's a great
See,
game.
I'm trying to think of like a comedy game I've actually played, and I don't
Doesn't
really
have to
have.
be a comedy game. Just
Yeah.
Cause
No,
2
I was gonna
multiplayer.
say,
Absolutely
one of
no
the-
Oh,
question.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
One of the games that like I laughed the hardest in, I guess, within the past year would probably be Mount Your Friends.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
That game.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Is hilarious. Swinging peepees, sign me up.
Can we quote you on that?
Always.
I gotta go with The Crew. The Crew is hysterical for 20 hours. It is hilarious.
I feel like if you play with friends, yeah, maybe.
The Crew is like watching Bad Boys. That's what The Crew is like. Or the Fast and the Furious movies. You're just like, this is gonna be completely ridiculous, and I love it. Also, Roxor, my digital angel, is in that game. So
Martian Manhunter is saying Saints Row 3 and 4 in chat. That's a solid answer. That's a pretty funny game.
watching Tim play Saints Row 4 the other day, he played the Enter
So
the
good.
Dominatrix DLC for that. Holy shit. Like, they don't give a shit. It's amazing.
No,
It
they
is
do not.
amazing. If you haven't played Enter the Dominatrix and you have it for Saints Row 4, like you got it on a sale or something, got the DLC with it, play through it. It's worth a couple hours of your time, for sure. It is hilarious. I should play Grim Fandango again. That game's hilarious.
Wait for the re-release. It's coming
It's
to
out.
PC
It's already
soon.
out.
Wait, the
Already out,
re-release?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
January 29th, dude. It's like been
This
out for
is
a
how
month.
much I pay attention to games that come out that aren't the Project Cars. That's basically what it comes down to.
Man, the shit that 510s in chat. Throw up your 510s for the crew.
Don't. Just please stop.
Yes, do throw up your 510s. The Mr. Flux asks, this is an interesting question to me. What's the longest drive you've ever taken? Who were you with? Did you kill them?
I drove across the country to move out to San Francisco with my wife. No, I did not kill her. And my dog. I only didn't kill her because my dog was there and she would have witnessed it. So
Florida with my whole family when I was a kid
Did you
From
drive
Pennsylvania.
though?
from Philadelphia. Did I drive? No.
What's the longest road trip like you've driven? Because I feel like we all have lots of like, oh yeah, when I was a kid, this thing.
Yeah.
But
I guess to Boston from Philly.
That's
For
like what, a
PAX East.
7-hour drive?
Yeah.
It's about 5 or 6. And no, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't have even come close to killing my companions because that drive is so fucking boring that if I didn't have other people there with me, I would have killed myself. So,
Wow. Okay.
fuck all of Connecticut. There's nothing there. Just, if you see the, like, welcome to Connecticut sign, just turn around. Fuck that place. Turn around, go back home, and buy a plane ticket. Because you've officially entered hell.
Dan, I feel like yours and I's might be the same.
I drove to Florida with friends in college.
Then yours is a little longer.
I didn't do all the driving straight, obviously, or we'd be dead right now. But we were on the road though for 20 straight hours or whatever, switching drivers. So that was a pretty long time.
Mine is definitely the last Bonnaroo that I went to.
God.
The drive to Manchester, Tennessee is about 11 and a half hours, but then normally the wait to get into Bonnaroo is another 6 on top of that at this point. So it's like
In,
18
the
hours.
worst heat in history.
It's the last year I went to Bonnaroo, it was the hottest Bonnaroo they had ever had on record. It was 110 degrees every day, and we sat in that car for 7 hours waiting to
But
get into
it's
the
110
festival.
degrees with like 50% humidity.
Yeah, so you
It's
chew
not
air
higher.
while you sit. Like, it's really bad. That was the worst. Like, between the drive down there and the wait to get in, it was almost 20 hours. That was pretty difficult.
Mike with an excellent point. Where's Ches to say around the goddamn country in 60 days? True.
yeah.
True
Did he
facts.
really
Yeah.
go around?
Yeah.
the
On a
world?
motorcycle.
Wow.
On a
Ches.
motorcycle.
Wow. Mine would be from Las Vegas to Oregon, my senior year of high school. My mom, because we moved around a lot, she let me go back to Oregon for my senior year of high school so I could graduate with the people I grew up with. And my ex-boyfriend came down, picked me up, and then we drove back. And let me tell you, from Las Vegas to Reno is the most boring drive I have ever driven. It's 8 hours of absolutely nothing.
And your
But
ex
so
did
it-
it twice.
He did it twice. Bless his heart. But did I kill him? No.
Oh, I thought that might be the story behind the ex part.
Maybe I would have wanted to later, but but if it was like 19 hours, I think in total, but it felt like longer just because of the Las Vegas to Reno drive. It was miserable.
Just desert with nothing
Just
in it.
desert with. There's some cool like little like ghost towns. Like there's like a clown town where everything is themed clown. There's like a clown inn and like
terrifying.
a
that sounds
No.
terrible.
No.
Yeah, that's
There really
scary.
is
and it's
nothing
a
going
ghost
on there.
town.
Holy
So like
shit.
That feels like a
nobody lives
waking
there.
nightmare.
That's the prostitution area too. That's like
Wait,
where
it's
it's all
a
legal.
town full of clown prostitutes. Wait a minute.
I need to go here.
No, but like
All right, Nick, I'm on my way to pick you up. We're going to clown prostitute town.
Let's honk some
do this.
noses.
Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, Vegas prostitution." And I'm like, "No, it's not legal here. Just go north."
Yeah.
Then
Look,
it's
you know what
legal
they
there.
say about dudes with big shoes. All right, so Clown Town sounds fucking cool.
Mine was the summer after my senior year of high school. Me and my best friend and two of my other friends drove from like Cincinnati, Ohio to New Jersey because my family used to own like a beach house there. And so that's like, I don't remember. It's between 8 and like 13 hours. And we're all still alive. We made it. But 4 teenage girls in a car, there was times. And I remember we did fight because
On their way to
I used to
Clown
love
Town.
to drive. I hate driving now. It's the worst. It's miserable. I just would rather somebody pick me up. But I used to love to drive. And like we fought over, this is how stupid it was. We fought over who actually got to like drive over the bridge onto the island where the beach house was. And she like threw the keys at me across the car. She's like, fine, you can drive. And I was like that's how stupid it was. And now I would be like, here, you can drive. Drive. I don't care. I just want to sit in the back. I'll take a nap.
Sit in the back and drink
yeah.
whiskey while
Yeah.
they drive.
Yeah. But now, but you know, when I was like, now I want to drive. It's my mom's car. That was stupid. But we are alive. We're alive.
Yeah, that Florida drive was rough, but nothing interesting happened.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was a long ass drive though, like Pittsburgh to Tampa,
That's a long drive.
Yeah.
22 hours or something.
I had done family trips like that from like Ohio to Florida.
Yeah.
Threw up some chicken nuggets once, you know.
Oh God, yeah. We used to go to my grandparents had a timeshare in like Kissimmee, and I rode with them one time in their minivan, and they played nothing but fucking 50s like doo-wop for 20 hours.
20 hours.
For 20 straight hours.
God.
It's amazing I'm alive today after that trip.
I would love to.
Thanks,
do
Grandma and Pat, for taking me to Florida. By the way,
I would love to. I would love to do the Pacific Coast Highway Drive sometime. Nick and APL just did that, but I would love to. I would love to do that sometime.
just
Highway
taking the
1.
one from like LA to San Fran.
I'd love to
Yep.
do that.
Yeah, they also didn't tell any of us they were doing
Yeah.
that. So.
Shitheads.
That's about right for them. That's
Not even
Yeah.
about that. I'm not even about that.
all right. Carlos R writes, whether or not has it already been made, what comic book movie do you want to see, and what actor or actress would portray that?
Oh, this is a great question.
So many have been made recently, and they've all been pretty decent for the most part. Like, I would like to see a good Spawn movie,
yeah, that'd be good.
because there's only one Spawn movie, and it's complete and total garbage. So, bring that back, DC.
Spawn's pretty awesome.
Or whoever. Actually, Spawn's not even DC. It's like something
It's
else.
Image. It's Image
Yeah.
Comics.
Come
Yeah.
on. You gotta have something there. Todd McFarlane's got infinite money. Come on.
I would say Deadpool, and that's already being made. You know, as much as it was a fuck up in that horrible, horrible Wolverine movie, I think Ryan Reynolds would be a good actor for him.
Yeah, I think he'd be
Yeah.
very good.
And if you actually watch that Wolverine movie in the very beginning when he's Wade Wilson, which is Deadpool's real name,
Yeah.
before he's like turned into the Deadpool, which was like nothing at all like actual Deadpool, when he was playing Wade Wilson, he actually was pretty on point. And then, you know, later in the movie, atrocities happened, but I wouldn't call that Ryan Reynolds' fault by a long
Atrocities
shot.
did happen in that movie. 'Cause,
Oh yeah, oh god, that movie was horrendous. But yeah, I would say he'd be a good actor for that.
I think also, I brought this up before, but a good Punisher movie also would be
That would be good.
amazing.
I'd watch that. Mine would be, I would say I'd like to see a good Transmetropolitan movie. And I think J.K. Simmons, if you shaved his head and gave him those crazy glasses, he could be amazing as Transmet. Like the super future gonzo journalist, I think he'd be excellent.
All right, well, there we go. Damn Suda asked, if you had to drink tea laced with the piss of someone from the cast of Friends, who would it be and why?
Phoebe, because she's kind of got some
Good
drugs
answer.
in there. And
Good answer.
And the resulting high will help me forget that I just drank piss tea.
I don't know.
Only
Oh.
breakfast.
I don't watch Friends. I don't know.
Okay, well that's a problem.
Yeah, you should watch all of Friends with me.
I don't either, but I would say the character Jennifer Aniston plays in the hopes that I look like her when I'm 46.
Rachel.
I would do
Rachel.
the same in
Bro,
hopes that
her
I
name is
could enter
Rachel.
Jennifer Aniston.
Rachel.
Rachel Green.
Jennifer Aniston.
Jennifer Aniston, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's such a tough question because
Because it's gross.
first of all,
That's
yes,
beefy,
it's
baby.
disgusting.
Zena in chat says Marcel the monkey. He wants to drink the monkey piss.
What an answer.
Wait,
Yeah,
can we
I was
pick-
trying to be
so
like, okay, well, maybe I pick a second, like Fun Bobby,
I was
Fun
just saying,
Bobby,
can we pick people that aren't
like the main cast.
like core cast? Can it be like guest stars or like one-offs? Because at that point, Fun Bobby, because Fun Bobby, correct me if I'm wrong, is the dude that was just drunk constantly, right? Like,
Yeah, and then he comes back. He's like he's reformed, and he went through like AA, and he's just like super boring and depressing.
yeah, to the point that at the end of the episode, Monica has like a giant Ziploc freezer bag full of mini bar bottles. It's like, I have to go with Fun Bobby somewhere for the weekend, and I need to be drunk constantly because he's not. Like the Fun Bobby pre coming to Jesus, not drinking anymore because you're gonna get drunk off his piss. Like that's it.
Oh yeah,
This Friends
This is
lore
now the
is
Friends
too much for
podcast.
me. This Friends lore.
Listen, this
We'll
we
have
could
to start a
easily
separate
quickly turn
Friends
this into the
cast.
Friends podcast.
I feel weird. I feel out of place having never really watched Friends. Like I've seen episodes of
I haven't
Friends, but
either.
I'm just not interested in it.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
It's just something like easy to toss on. I mean, like I grew up watching it, and I had like the collector's edition and stuff. But now that it's on Netflix, I think a lot of people just watch it because it's like so many people talk about it, and it's easy to watch. You can just throw on a few episodes while you're doing something else,
Yeah,
and you kind of get invested into the storylines that way. It's
Yep.
a sitcom, so it's not like, oh my god, this is the
not
best
super
show
deep.
ever. But it's funny, and
It's fun.
you know, it's fun. Yeah, it's a fun show.
I just
Linz
like
and-
grew up with it. I have a lot of nostalgia.
Yeah, I grew up
so.
with it too. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, Linz and Blacklight are the two reasons I even went back and started to rewatch it. And honestly, once you get to season 6, just stop. Like,
Oh
just
yeah,
stop.
it
Dude,
gets-
I'm
it gets
just
really
now
bad.
about
They
to
brought
get
it
to
back for
season
the last
6
season.
again. I'm like rewatching it, since they put it on Netflix, and I'm about to get to season 6, and I'm like, oh man, I want to watch season 1 again.
Yeah, just go back to the beginning at that point because after season
Okay.
6, it all just kind of tanks. Once Monica and Chandler get together, it's all over. Sorry, spoilers. That show's a decade old. But
spoiler
like,
alert.
Spoiler alert.
Oh,
Never
man.
watching it now.
Anyways, sorry, we can move on. Otherwise, we'll stay here forever.
yeah, no. Linz, me, Ro, and Nick are going to start the Friends podcast after this. 10 years too
we've got
late.
the
I've never
KBMOD
watched
food
it.
cast
I've never
now.
watched it.
Ro was one of the ones that never saw it. That's
Oh,
second.
well, no, we're going to get Ro and John to watch it, and then we'll just start a new
Nope.
podcast of
John's
them.
like, nope. not gonna
John's
happen.
out. He's like, no, I tap out. I don't want to do this.
All right. Next question. Ricky Y writes, this week I went to a party my friend was hosting. Little did I know it was a party for Chinese New Year, and I was the only non-Chinese person there. It was the most awkward party of my life, as I could not understand a single thing anyone was saying. What was your guys' most awkward, uncomfortable event in your life, and what did you do to overcome it if you did?
Oh God.
Oh, I probably blocked it out. I don't remember.
My heart
that's the thing
hurts
is-
thinking about this.
I just put it in that little filing cabinet, stored away, and I throw away the key. Don't need that in my life anymore.
I don't think it was too bad because I ended up just like rooting out the people who were cool. But like one time, back when Heart Gold Soul Silver came out, the Pokemon remakes, I went to a Pokemon tournament that was like officially hosted by Nintendo and shit, and they were like some of the most awkward motherfuckers you would ever meet in your entire life. I was probably like college age, I guess, when that came out. I was like 20, 21. And overall, it was pretty fun just like meeting other like near adults or adults that were actually into Pokemon, but a lot of them were like painful to speak to, like guys who were just like really that awkward. But it wasn't really that uncomfortable because you find the people that actually can hold a conversation, you chill with them. So I don't know.
Well,
like
see,
I've never been.
This guy was in the unfortunate position of not being able to hold a conversation with anyone but the
Right.
person who brought it.
Right, exactly. And like I've never been in a situation that that made me that uncomfortable. That sounds super uncomfortable, but if I was in your situation, dude, I would have just left. So I don't have these stories.
We just pieced out of that party.
You need to learn when to just fold.
Just dip.
Just dip.
Dip.
D for
Ricky.
dip the fuck
That's our
out.
advice. Everyone else has blocked it out. Like,
I mean, like, I can
Memory
think of
suppression.
some, like, family situations that I'd rather not go into that are super awkward. And, like, some otherwise situations that I don't want to offend anybody that might listen to this podcast that I also don't want to go into because they're super awkward. So I forfeit. Like, I pass.
I'm really hoping my mom will find the gay surfertage someday. That's what I'm like,
only
just
hope.
stumble
There's nothing
across
awkward
it.
about that. That's a beautiful moment between three men. And don't you dare besmirch his name by saying it's awkward. How fucking dare you? Fill my urethra with Capri Sun right now.
All right, last email. It's a long one. It involves Will Smith. Skylar W. writes, I'm writing this email in order to propose to you a situation which deals with the fantastical and sometimes horrifying realm known as alternate realities. We're going deep, ladies and gentlemen. The alternate reality I propose to you is one which concerns our close friend and humble deity, Mr. Willard Christopher Smith Jr. I love that he refers to him as our close friend and humble deity, which I'm not disagreeing with.
Not inaccurate.
The situation is as follows. In this alternate reality, Mr. Willard, I don't know why he's calling him Mr. Willard, but I'm going to go with that, happens to be fatally injured during the production of the film and all-around flop 7 Pounds, wherein he actually dies at the end after the scene in which he is stung to death by his pet jellyfish in the bathtub. Not joking, that actually fucking happens due to a horrible mix-up with the prop department.
What?
Coincidentally, you happen to be one of the crew on set and have the opportunity to either grab the jellyfish and fall in the tub after Willard is pulled out, thus killing yourself, but saving Willard, or let it happen. If you sacrifice yourself, here we go, will go on to create a reboot of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air starring Jaden Smith in the titular role.
Oh, God.
However, if you decide not to save him, Jaden will proceed to use the money he inherits as a result of his father's death to purchase the Predator franchise and star as Kid Predator across several installments, which I kind of want to happen.
No.
Most importantly, this change in realities does not improve Jaden's horrid acting capabilities, and you will be forced to watch the entirety of either show/film, depending on your choice. Basically, do you choose to save Will or not? Do you want to watch Jaden as Kid Predator across several movies, or a remake of Fresh Prince with Jaden as Will Smith?
All right, you fucked up. That's the easiest question ever.
Okay.
Like, why would I one, both die, and two, let Fresh Prince be besmirched?
Yeah.
Predator was a great film, sure. I don't have that much attachment to it. Fresh Prince, on the other hand, that's Will Smith's legacy. Like, either way, he kind of fucked up because he brought Jaden into the world, but like at the end of the day, like,
been stellar.
I love Will Smith, but if me knowing, like, you need to offer some positive incentive to me sacrificing my life. It's already hard enough for me to justify sacrificing myself for anyone. If it's going to be somebody, it may well be Will Smith. But you got to offer me some kind of incentive. Like, Will Smith goes on to revive Fresh Prince of Bel-Air for real, with him playing Will as an adult. Like that, I would watch.
Basically. Yeah, I would watch the fuck out of that show.
From heaven. The heaven that is the section of heaven reserved for the very few people who have sacrificed their lives in the line of service of Will Smith.
But that's not the point of the question. The point is the question. Both outcomes kind of suck. So it's like
Yeah,
but
Predator.
Well, that's
So
my
what are you
point.
gonna
Since they both suck, I'm going with the one where I don't die.
there you go.
I'm gonna go.
I don't
with
give a
the
shit
one-
about Predator on top of that. So
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the one where I stay alive, and I don't really care about the Predator franchise. So, I mean,
Jaden can do it. And honestly, the Kid Predator thing sounds hilarious.
Also, yeah, I think I might stay alive just because I want to see Kid Predator.
I want to see Kid Predator.
Kid Predator sounds hilarious.
Several
Jaden,
installments.
I feel
But
like
listen, wait. Okay, so counterpoint to this entire argument. What if you were the person that, for all of history, didn't sacrifice themselves, and or you did sacrifice yourselves, and the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air gets rebooted, and Jaden is in that role, and you ruin the legacy of that show for all future generations.
That's not what happens, though.
It says right here, if you sacrifice yourself, we'll go on to reboot the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and Jaden is in the main role. So now you have killed yourself, thinking, if I save Will Smith, if I save Will Smith, then it's okay. Everything will be fine.
There's only one downside answer here. I mean,
but you ruined the Fresh Prince for future generations.
Yeah, well, that's why you're staying alive.
Go back and watch the old ones.
Oh, I don't know, man.
And have you ever read Jaden's tweets? I feel like the Predator would be an experience.
It would be like that.
So then don't save him and stay alive, and then Predator.
Right, exactly.
The other thing doesn't happen.
Okay, that's fair. All right.
The other thing doesn't happen.
I got it. Okay.
I don't want Will to die, but I mean, Kid Predator does sound really funny, whereas Jaden in the role of the Fresh Prince just sounds tragic.
It's just sad. Like, you ruined it. Get that kid some therapy and some medication. Please, Jaden, get help. Jaden, get help.
Hex pleading with you, Jaden.
Go to a real school.
Therapy is very constructive. Take your sister, go to therapy, get some medication.
Did anyone read the interview with them
go.
A little while
I did.
ago?
That's why I'm pleading.
I read that
and his parents
article, the interview that they had together.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't understand a single thing.
Dear God.
That was something else.
It was all nonsense. Just no.
Like, what are... I don't know.
Who would be Carlton?
How are they so
Grove, great
bizarre?
question. Who would be Carlton in this future situation?
His sister,
who is Carlton?
His sister would play Carlton, obviously.
But how is he going to mock his sister for that
I'm
long?
just telling you.
I don't think he can do it.
This whole situation is fucked.
I hate this question so much.
Who would play Carlton? Yeah, this question, you didn't offer enough. There's not enough balance here.
Wait.
One answer is so much better than the other.
I've got it. What if the kid who played Steve Urkel comes out of retirement from acting?
Jaleel White?
Jaleel White plays Carlton in this reboot. That's how it works.
Let's just
That's
cast
the only
Reginald
way.
Vell Johnson as Uncle Phil then. R.I.P.
Okay, great.
Phil.
Sold. Let's produce this. NBC, we're on board.
I'm in. Okay.
Has he retired from acting?
Reginald Vell Johnson?
No, Jaleel White.
Is he still acting? Like, what have you seen him in lately?
Let's Google Jaleel White.
IMDb.
Mega Shark versus Crocosaur?
There he is. What's up, Jaleel White?
Maybe you get the original Carlton to come back and play Carlton again with the weird.
Dude, he would be all over that so fast. Are you kidding me? He is so desperate to like cling to his fame. If you see, he organizes his own flash mobs to do the Carlton.
Yeah, but they're all pretty good. I would watch every one of them. I don't care.
Okay, so
Dancing with the Stars.
They're okay, but it's a little cringy because he's the one doing. He's like, hey, remember that really funny thing I did? Let's keep bringing up the one good joke I had.
That I fucking stole from what's her face from Friends, whose name I can't remember right now. Who did it with Bruce Springsteen first?
You're not going to believe this to top all this off.
Courtney
Besides Mega Shark versus Crocosaurus, Jaleel White voiced Sonic in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Chili Dogs.
Sonic the Hedgehog, the 2006 remake. Oh, no, the cartoons, yeah.
The 90s Fox TV show, yeah.
He did.
He was Sonic, yep.
I think he was Sonic in both of them, too, both the good one and the bad one.
So, that's it. Episode 178. It's come to an end. Big thanks to Linz Rowtendo for coming on. You can find Row at Rowtendo on Twitter, twitch.tv/Rowtendo. Linz is ZMarie87 on Twitch, yes, and at Linz Washburn on Twitter. You can find the rest of us at Hexadecimal, at Blacklight Attack, at KBMOD John, and I am at NipNopsTV on Twitter. That is it for 178. We'll be back next week with Eat My Diction. He'll be our guest. He was supposed to be on this week, but was still recovering from Sweden. So, yeah, we'll see him on next week. Make sure you guys tune in then. Follow the channel here on Twitch, and please consider subscribing. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Same time, same place. Later, bro.
Get that?
Yep.